Hi, this is Alexander Vitkin. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I went from working very hard to working smart as well. And I'm going to cover exactly how you can do the same, how you, as an entrepreneur, or with anything you're mastering, if it's not entrepreneurship, sports, or whatever you're mastering, how you can go from the first paradigm, which is work very hard, to working very smart, to maybe a third paradigm, like what is beyond that? And how do you combine the two? And also, you're going to learn how to become more effective as a business owner and as a student of life, entrepreneurship, business, sales, marketing skills, and whatever else you're learning right now. So why do I work very hard? I work very hard because I've decided a long time ago, because I got inspired by entrepreneurs, I got inspired at a young age to get into entrepreneurship. I saw that as the way, and I still see it as the way to improve the world. And I do mean the way, the #1 way to influence the world in a positive way. And when I saw that, and when I really committed to it, eventually I got some results, and eventually I grew a business, and eventually I was asked to teach other people, and I was asked to consult companies, and basically I started making a positive impact on the world. And at a certain point, I realized that I want to help more and more people achieve the same thing that I have achieved. And that's why I'm making these videos as well. And that's why I'm working so hard on my business and helping other people as well. So why do I work smart? That's because when I work smart, I'm able to work more efficiently and my business grows faster. And because my business grows faster, more people get more value, because if they put stuff into my business, they get more out of it. So it's a positive thing for everyone involved. I'm better able to influence the world in this positive way. And it sounds very cryptic, but it's just basic economic theory. You cannot sell something unless the other person knows that they get more value out of the transaction than they would by keeping the money. So there's an added value, and the more added value you create, the more you add to people's lives, and the better the world becomes, and the more entrepreneurs you help create, the more everything. Like, it's just a upward positive spiral of success. And I like to be part of this. I like to contribute to the world like this, and that is why I like to work hard and smart. So sometimes I get people messaging me on Facebook and they say stuff like, "Oh, Alex, I really want to find my passion and I want to get into business. I'm really interested in business and I don't really know what to do yet." And then I ask them, "Well, are you willing to work very hard?" And then they say, "Yeah, if I find my passion, if I find something that I'm really interested in." And then I say to them, "Well, what if you don't find it? What if it's not interesting yet? What if you haven't developed that passion yet because you don't understand business yet and you don't understand what it takes to develop this passion? And what if you've never learned a skill up to a high level before, because, well, maybe someone's only 20 years old and haven't done sports or music or anything, so they haven't learned a skill to a high degree yet. So maybe they need to discover what it is like to learn a new skill. Maybe they need to discover what it's like to learn something fast, hit through all those success barriers, and fly up the curve of mastery. And by fly up, I mean slowly crawl like a slug up the staircase and fall down sometimes and start over again. And it hurts and it's painful. And you know that this is what it takes to succeed because deep down it feels right. And you've seen other people do it, and even though you're failing over and over and over, and it's super hard, and you work until your fingers bleed, sometimes you still don't get success, and even though all of this is happening, you keep going. And if you can do that, then you can maybe be an entrepreneur. And that's what I tell people. And they're confused. "Yeah, but I just want to travel. I just want to have freedom. I don't understand. Can't I just have that without doing this stuff? Can't I just first find my passion and then after I find my passion, work hard?" No, you can't. No, that is what causes passion, okay? If you want to be passionate about business or anything, you need to earn it. And then they say things like, "Well, what if I don't have the strong beliefs and the strong mindset yet?" Again, the same thing. The strong beliefs come from really hard work and seeing that the positive influence on the world is possible even when it doesn't feel good, even if you have to work harder than you're used to, even if you have pushed past the success barriers over and over and over and you fail anyway, and then eventually if you after that keep persisting and working hard and then you get the results, if you're lucky enough to get the results after that anyway, then you start to earn the strong beliefs because you've seen the failure, you've seen the success, you've seen the journey, you've experienced the journey. Of course it makes sense to you that you need to have strong beliefs. You develop the strong beliefs. You don't just get the strong beliefs. And as long as people don't understand that, they will never be successful at anything. And that's why I'm making this video for you, because I hope that you take away just a small percentage of what I'm telling you here so that you're better able to succeed in life with anything that you do. So now we live in a world where we go on social media and there's some guy in a Lamborghini and some Rolex or something like that, and he's showing you this life. And you can be part of this life by looking at the people with Lamborghinis and the Rolexes. You can look from the outside and you can see their life, and in a small, tiny, minuscule way, you can be part of that and you can feel a tiny fraction of what it is like to be them, because that's how our brains are built. It's with mirror neurons and all this kind of complicated stuff. I'm not a scientist, but you get the idea. That's what we get from social media. We get these dopamine hits as if we're part of that. Well, let me be, probably not the first one to tell you, but this is completely fake. Real world success and real world influence looks very different from this. People work super hard 99.9% of the time, and then that 0.1% of the time, they have that little moment on stage where they record a video after preparing for 30 hours on how to do the speech. They record a little video, and that's what you see online. You don't see the hard work. You don't see the research. You don't see the years and years of grueling failure and success and failure and success that has led them to achieve this. You only see this little Instagram picture that was fabricated half of the time to make you feel like you're part of it, so that you keep engaging, fueling their likes, fueling their social media, and then they gain more success. And us, as the viewers, as the watchers, and as the fans, we're spectators, and we're trained to be spectators. And I really would like to encourage you not to be a spectator anymore. I'm not saying go out there and also do social media and show Rolexes and whatever. I'm saying whatever it is you're interested in, whatever business you could start and you could succeed in, and whatever business models are available to you that you could succeed in, that's what you should be doing. And the number one focus there is, what does the market want? Not what you're already passionate about. If you're already passionate about something, it's great. And if you could make it into a business, that's great. It's unlikely, it's more likely that the market says, we need this thing that you don't know too much about. They need to learn all the 5, 6, 7 skills that it takes to do this thing. And then the market rewards you, and then you have a business, and then you develop the passion. That's much more likely. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper. So here's my journey. Maybe you can replicate my journey. Maybe you can do the same thing that I did, or maybe you can learn from my mistakes and shoot up to success faster than I did. Maybe you'll climb faster, maybe you'll learn faster. So for me, it took 2 years to get success in business. It was 2 years of grueling failure and debt before I got success. So here's what I did. I saw a guy on the internet, his name was Eben, and I was so inspired, and I found another guy on the internet, his name was Vishen, you should look him up from Mind Valley, and he was on stage with the Dalai Lama talking so passionately about entrepreneurship. So I got inspired, but I didn't really start a business. I was just inspired, and I was a fan, and I was fueling their engagement and watching their videos and sharing with all my friends, but I wasn't doing anything yet. Later, I tried business for 2 years and failed. But then I found a working business model, a working plan, and finally, instead of dabbling, instead of trying the next thing and the next shiny object and running after the next thing and hoping and being a fanboy, I started doing, and I was implementing every day. I was doing grueling work, 16 hours a day. I was working hard. I was doing everything that I had to do, and a lot of stuff I didn't have to do, but I thought I had to do, and I did it anyway, just for that small chance that it would improve my chance of success. But without dabbling, I was 100% focused, and that's when I started to get the first success in business, first real success in business. So what you can get out of this is do that. Follow a working, proven business model. Implement for 4 hours a day minimum if you have a full-time job working 60 hours a week or more. And once you reduce it to 40 hours or less, preferably 20 hours or less per week, then you can start doing 8 to 10 hours, 5 to 6 days a week of business. And then eventually you can quit your job and focus on business full-time. So at this point, when you're doing 8 to 10 hours a day of business full-time, you can start making $8,000 to $10,000 a month, for example. So once you're here, this is the beginner stage. This is when you're a full-time, very small time, but very full-time entrepreneur. You're almost freelancing, most likely you're freelancing, maybe you've outsourced a little bit, but you're a full-time entrepreneur. This is the beginning of the journey. So at this point, you will most likely hit a wall. This can be 6 to 8 months in, if you follow a proven working business model. I wasn't really for most of the time, that's why it took me 2 years. But you can get there much faster. 6 to 8 months is very realistic for a lot of people based on what I've seen. So at that point, you need to speak to very smart people and implement quickly and start to work smarter and smarter and smarter. Track more. Focus your decisions more on data. Have them help you make decisions based on your data. Because you're tracking, you can share your data with smart people who can direct you on how to make decisions based on this data. So if you have a sales funnel, you have sales funnel data. If you improve sales funnel performance, the data will show that and they will tell you how to improve it even more because they've seen it before and it's easy for them to tell. And this is how you improve your business. This is also why business masterminds work, by the way. So at a certain point, doing this, you will hit $20,000 to $40,000 per month. And you'll have a few people on staff most likely, or freelancers, probably too many because you'll have an overstaffing issue because you plug all the holes with staff and freelancers, obviously. So at that point, you'll want to start automating and doing stuff like that. But here's the key point. At this point, you'll want to focus on a single skill and truly master the skill, truly get good at that skill. And this will require you to invest a huge amount of time. We're talking 4 to 6 hours per day. A friend of mine, he was sitting and learning copywriting 4 to 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, for years. And he got so good. He's probably one of the best copywriters in the world right now. He was making over $1 million a month, and now he's doing $6-7 million per year with a very nice profit margin. So if you want to become like that, you have to pretty much do what he did, and which is master the skill for 4 to 6 hours a day. Figure out your business so almost everything is automated, so everything is running super well. So basically your business is an automated machine. And by automated, I don't mean you don't spend any time. You just have 4 to 6 hours a day to master a skill like copywriting or sales or whatever. But you need to have time to work on yourself, on your skills, and on your business, and not just as an employee running around and extinguishing fires. And at this point, you can start achieving results of 100K or even more per month. So do you need to work more than 8 to 10 hours a day at this point? Well, one of my mentors, he runs a $120 million company, and he told me one of his biggest regrets is working more than 8 to 10 hours a day. And if he could go back in time, and if he could give himself a better plan and just work the 8 to 10 hours a day and spend the rest of the time socializing and like just figuring out his life, so his life is better, more balanced, and he has more fun, then he would have done that. So hindsight 2020, of course, but still, the man is very smart. The man is making a lot of money, and we should listen to him because he has a very valid point. After the 8 to 10 hours a day, there's massive diminishing returns, and there's no point really working at 20% effectiveness after that amount of hours because you can spend that time optimizing your actual 8 hours or 10 hours of real work by making your life balanced, making your brain work better, making your body healthier, having good relationships with people and like girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever friends. And you can build all that outside of the 8 to 10 hours a day by focusing on a balanced life. Sounds boring, like balanced. I just want to hustle, and I get that. My freaking business mastermind is called Daily Business Hustle right now. We're looking to change the name, but it's called Daily Business Hustle. So I really get the hustle part, but working smart is much more important long term, because how long do you want to do this? I want to do this forever, for as long as I can, basically, until I die. So because of that, I need a balanced life. I can't just rely on hustle. I can't just rely on working so hard I get burnt out every 2 weeks. I have to take a holiday of some kind, like screw up my brain somehow or lie to myself to work even harder afterwards and repeat the cycle of burnouts. I can't do that, and it's not worth sacrificing your health if you want to do that as well. Because the 8 to 10 hours a day, effective, tracked, intelligent work is better than working 16 hours a day and just hustling and doing whatever. So you need a combination, and you need to escape this trap of employees and freelancers where they just try to work more hours and harder without focusing on effective, tracked, measured, data-driven processes, and without learning those skills that take 6 hours a day for like a year to master, that propel your business into the stratosphere. So for this, we need to be smart, and early on especially, we need to work really, really hard to build up that real solid business foundation and those strong ethics like work ethic, business ethics, following contracts, paying what you're supposed to pay, and so on. So once you reach mastery, you can achieve any success you want in business. Once you understand how to manage your time, your body, your stress, your mental fatigue, and the emotional fatigue, and just your emotional life, be a positive person with strong relationships, good ethics, and good financial understanding, and all that other stuff that you need to succeed in business. Once you have this figured out, business will seem easy, and the things that you do will seem like you're doing magic. It won't even seem like you're doing business anymore. It will seem to you like what you were doing before was super ineffective. Maybe you'll even regret what you did before. And you'll start developing new business models. It'll be second nature to you to invent new things, because you'll be so deep into a subject, so deep into a marketplace. Your understanding will be so profound that other people will come to you and ask you for advice. They will look up to you. They will, even people make more money, they'll knock on your door because you have domain knowledge and domain expertise, and you'll have skills that they don't have. And they'll want to learn from you, and they'll look up to you, and they'll refer clients to you. And once you have achieved this, it is a great feeling. You're a boss, you're effective at business. Even if you make a little bit less money sometimes, that's perfectly fine. You can always recover. No matter how bad a recession hits, you have the skills to recover. You have the skills to build from 0 to 100 again and beyond. You learn from your mistakes, and business is just more fun. And it's more fulfilling. If you see a tennis player just at the peak of his game and he's just crushing the opponent mentally and physically, business is somewhat similar. Business also allows you to achieve this and experience this. Maybe not in front of a huge audience, maybe you're there alone, maybe you're working super hard and no one really cares because you're in the back of the business and not at the front of the business. No one really knows you, but you know, and that is enough. And the results are enough, and the influence that the business achieves in the world, and the positive effect, and you knowing that is the right thing to do, that is enough for you. And at this point where you're pushing beyond the boundaries and achieving the next goals, and really not just doing it because the money is more or something like that, but because you know that this is good for the world, that feeling, you cannot really achieve something beyond that as far as I know right now. Maybe I'll find something better one day, but that's pretty freaking good. So I didn't always think this way. I used to think I just need the next business model. I need the next idea. I need to try selling the next service. Maybe that one will work better. But in reality, when you're new, you need a proven business model. You need to join a mastermind, and then you need to follow the proven business model and then learn the basic skills like sales, marketing, delivery, project management, lead generation, and so on. And then you need to execute until you get to 10K, quit your job, and focus on business full-time. And that's when the real magic happens. Now, of course, these days, 2018, you can kind of cheat the system just a little bit by getting into a business model that has already been tested and getting market research data that's already been tested, so you can get that first hurdle behind you faster and get out of jobs and into a real business faster, but you'll still need to travel the journey. You'll still need to learn the real skills. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you'd like more free videos about marketing, sales, and entrepreneurship, follow me on social media, subscribe, follow, whatever you want to do, it's fine. If you have any personal questions or whatever you want to talk about, I'm available. You can private message me on Facebook, for example. And I wish you all the best in your entrepreneurial journey, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.